Besides praising Annie, the boss treats her like a fan, accompanying him to his eldest son's show. He listens intently to every word from his youngest son, and can suddenly stop the performance, ignoring the crowd to give his eldest son the most enthusiastic applause. Annie finds such a boss adorably childlike, and their relationship heats up faster than a micro. The relationship moves so fast, the boss gaze assesses Anna's marriage potential. He solemnly promises to cherish Annie for life. Just then an unexpected guest barges in. And just like that, the family dinner goes belly up, with Annie finally getting a buyout check from the gentleman. The other party explains that the boss has a few screws loose and has dated 7 women so far. Annie feels a mix of emotions, especially when the boss wife comes over to apologize on his behalf, making her think of her own absurd marriage with her ex-husband Dan being a well-known musician. The song My Only One reminisces about their 4 years of love, and Dan's charm makes you want to cheer for him. Subtitles. Recalling those sweet days of yore, Annie still finds herself thinking of Justine, for Dan was practically a flawless husband and father during that time. He walks into your room, bops down on your bed, and starts playing Honeyflower. How romantic. You too. Yeah, when he stops, it's like someone turned on the faucet again. So he keeps on playing to make sure you're still in love with him. Subtitles. They were once a perfect couple in love. I once harbored deep affection for your father, but seeing you today, I've come to realize how quickly feelings can change. Annie bolted, confidently declaring she was opening a new chapter in life, only to wonder if that chapter was just another tale of lies and betrayal. Would she end up like that woman, comfortable with betrayal forever? Why do you like him? Because he's my husband, but besides that, what's so lovable about him? Perhaps the most absurd thing is chasing after illusions. At first, Annie had her plan for opening a new chapter, finding a wealthy gentleman. This is the bottom line. She confidently declares that regardless, they must uphold high standards because wealth can secure a child's future, and gentlemen must be respectful. But if she only uses standards to judge others, disappointment is inevitable, like that paint store owner who hid his stone facade, or that day at the outdoor picnic. He talked to George under the guise of a prospective groom. Was there a hint of flippancy in his words? And check out his behavior after being caught by his wife. His wife was as cold as ice, and he didn't care, putting his entire life in other people's hands. Such foolishness. Not to mention, Anna's got survival skills. She can earn a little extra on the side by ride-sharing. Once settled in LA, she could play a random role in a production, looking shabby and all that. In front of her, a story unfolds where the wealthy gentleman invites her back to his place. But Annie refused, stating, I can't recall ever loving you, but I'm certain that I don't need you. Relying on no one is Anna's choice, with many gains along the journey, and deep down she feels she doesn't know how to find that reliance in her heart. Yet her choices are full of the wisdom acquired over the journey. More importantly, Annie believes she deserves a better life. Faced with betrayal, she steps away. Alone, she hustles. She firmly believes she deserves better, even if the one opposing her is her own son. This trait endows Annie with the courage to break free from the cage. She escapes the traditional female mold, but Anna's true new chapter doesn't just begin with jumping out. In traditional ties, Annie, long denied equality, struggles to relate to disadvantaged groups. Like Anna's sister, both share the same mother, but the sister lacks Anna's beauty. The living conditions post-marriage aren't as good as what Annie had before her divorce, and upon learning of Anna's engagement, the sister, she endlessly complains about her mediocrity, working hard for years with no kids, while her beautiful sister breezes through with 2. She feels for her sister, but it's more about her own deep disappointment. Annie just stares at her sister in confused silence. She doesn't get what kind of crazy is opening up in front of her, and Annie has that same look when dealing with her youngest son. After the dinner incident, Annie is packing for LA, but George clearly refuses to bid farewell to classmates and teachers. His confused, impatient expression pops up on Anna's face again. I'm not going anywhere. Who's driving? It seems Annie assumes George is her personal property, which angers George, especially knowing Mom's heading to LA to support him in his Hollywood hustle. After all, George is the child of Annie and her first husband. Maybe because her eldest son lost his father at a young age, Annie is always extra gentle with George, even letting him knit in the car and listen to his outfit suggestions. She praises George's acting talent, even accompanying him to navigate the backdoor of Hollywood. George inquires about Anna's personal life, from horse training to dreams. It ends up as a question on her recent reading gains. In the end, Annie still knows nothing, which leads George to insist that he must leave her.